company.
Tonight on Ctv3 News, the North braces for heavy rainfall. The Ministry of Infrastructure says it will be on high alert. State of emergency extended to 90 days. The opposition boycotts today's sitting of the House of Representatives. And the North stands to benefit from a loan motion taken to the House. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Friday, June 28, 2024.
This plan, I can't leave this plan. Smart beliefs.
Hey there, smart thinkers. We're turbocharging your mobile experience with Smart's powered up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speed flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a Lone Ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced, full, high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered-up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
I know I can't leave this plan. I can't leave this plan.
Good evening. With your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7, I am Joanna Rodriguez. A number of programmed events have been cancelled, including the San Pedro pageant and the annual Bandfest, as Belize braces for a weekend of heavy rains as the system passes through. The Belize Meteorological Service has been saying all week long that the probability of Belize getting torrential rains this weekend is high. Well, the weekend is here, and as you can attest, the skies are dark and the rain has already begun in some areas. Today we spoke with forecaster Fiscal Wellington, who told us what to expect this weekend.
It's a tropic wave just east of us with an area of low pressure in it, and it's just in front of us. That should be crossing us later this evening tonight, and what we're seeing already is that showers are increasing over the sea and they're already moving onto land. I just got a signal from your area about thunderstorm activity. So during the course of this afternoon into tonight, we will be seeing further increases. And I'm seeing again for tomorrow night, another surge of moisture coming through, especially for your area. We have a excessive rainfall watch, but we are extending it to the entire country, but especially your area. So it's a watch right now, and later on it could be upgraded to a warning.
In terms of flood alerts?
Yes, we are not responsible for flood alert. It's the hydrology department. And on our website, we do have a scroll up there that gives the number. In case folks want to know more about flooding, they can call that number and get the hydrology unit.
In relation to wind strength?
Okay, I believe by tonight we should be issuing a warning, especially for heavy showers and thunderstorms. We might even issue a strong thunderstorm watch. And with strong thunderstorm watch, we expect strong winds, we expect heavy torrential rainfall, and we could even see hail out of those systems.
Wellington says residents who reside along the New River should be cautious and listen to the latest weather updates.
Okay, I believe they should be listening closely to the weather reports. They can go on our website and look at the latest forecast, which will be coming out midday. Okay, again, if they need to know more, they can call the number for hydrology.
We are still at what is considered the start of the hurricane season, and this year it is expected to be very much busy. The forecaster says other systems are out and we should also take note in order to be prepared.
Right now, the one of interest that we are looking at is the one that's just east of Barbados. That should be in our area 1 week now. I say it will be a person, but I think, and I would advise Belizeans to keep watching the system and to listen to the reports and to listen to what steamer, their emergency organization is saying in their area.
Weather outlook for most parts of the country, including here in the north, is for an increase in rain as two potential systems threaten the Caribbean and Atlantic. Increased rains in many parts of our country oftentimes mean flooding, which compromise the daily lives and livelihoods of residents. In the past weeks, there have been significant damages to roads and infrastructure reported as a result of floodings. One such case is the coastal road, which received infrastructure damage a few weeks ago. With more rains expected this weekend, Minister of Infrastructure Honorable Julius Espat says his team is currently out in full force inspecting drainage and culverts across the country.
You're envisioning. What we have done at the ministry is we have sent out all the engineers countrywide to look at drainage and culverts and see if we could clear them out, go into the creeks to see if there is a possibility of addressing the issue. Better than that we really can't be dealing with. But with time, it will get worse, and we will have to design infrastructure to be able to withstand that. And that just means that the investment that goes into infrastructure will have to be more. And at times we can't afford to do it. And so we have to be able to have a balance in our approach. What is priority, what is not priority. But we have highways that you can travel in the dry and in the wet. George Price Highway, Philip Golson Highway. Right now we are going to work on the Southern Highway. We have a project for the George Price Highway right now to rehabilitate it. These are important projects that are proposed that will try to minimize the problem. The design of the George Price Highway considers flooding, so we are putting in major culverts and drainage areas prior to entering Belize City. So we are hoping that when the Sibun water rises and the water comes down the Burton Canal, it doesn't reach Belize City, or it minimizes the quantity that reaches Belize City, and we can have it flow before or close to Old Belize. That's one of the projects, and to increase the height of the bridge by Hattieville to be able to minimize that flow. And so we are looking at it. The problem with Belize is that not all our communities are on high land. Belize City, for example, it was built on swamp. And a lot of the coastal areas are built in swamp areas. And so that makes it a little bit more difficult, but it's there. We have to solve the problem. We will face it on a daily basis. Our crews are out there 24 hours monitoring.
Today's sitting of the House of Representatives saw various significant bills bring to the table. However, if you had turned into today's session, you may have noted the stark absence from all 5 members of the opposition at today's meeting. That is after the opposition members lodged a formal protest against the scheduled House sitting, citing a deviation from the established protocol of providing 5 clear ability to pose crucial questions to ministers.
Why is it important that we get 7 days notice, 5 clear days? Because of Standing Order 19.3. Standing Order 19.3 requires that in order to ask questions to ministers, you must give them 5 clear days notice. So by giving us 3 days notice of a House meeting, you abrogate the privileges of the members in a very, very crucial tool that we have for oversight, that we have for representing our people in the House of Representatives. There are questions that we have in Toledo East, in Stanquick West, in Mesopotamia, in Collet, in Alberts, in Corozal North, that the people want answered. And there is a process and a procedure, there are rules, there are standing orders. So for the executive and the speaker to proceed in a matter that deviates from the protocol that the Speaker has established during this term of Parliament undermines our democracy. It totally disadvantages an opposition that is already limited in numbers, and it goes against good governance.
In response, Speaker Valerie Woods informed Opposition Leader Moses Shine Barrow that the notice for today's sitting does not contravene the standing orders. The Speaker explained that the Clerk of the National Assembly was notified by the Cabinet Secretary on Sunday, June 23rd, and the notice was issued on Monday, June 24th, after verifying the orders of the day. She acknowledged the concern about notice but maintained that the notice period for this meeting was compliant with the standing orders, adding, and we quote, "While there is no notice period specified in the standing orders for notification of regular House meetings, the office has improved on the practice of at least 1 week before the date of the meeting. This has been done in an effort to allow Standing Order 19.3 on notice of question to be applied as often as possible. This effort has been undertaken since in Belize, by practice, all administrations to date have not utilized Standing Order 11.1 of establishing House meetings weekly on Fridays," end quote. The government of Belize today announced its decision to extend the current state of emergency imposed earlier this week in areas of Belize City, as well as the communities of Roaring Creek and Cotton Tree in the west. The SOE was extended for an additional 60 days by resolution of the House, which was unanimously supported. The extension, according to Minister of Home Affairs Karim Musa, is necessary if government is to quell the ongoing state of violence, which has escalated to having a police station and the house of the most senior officer of the police department targeted by gun violence.
We have arrived at a point where decisions, swift and certain, must be made to ensure that our Belize remains on track to be the best country in which to grow up and raise a family. We cannot do that in a country where a few feel that they have the power and impetus to wreak havoc on our streets, planting seeds of fear in the minds and hearts of hard-working and law-abiding citizens of our country. Belize is certainly not a state where lawlessness, more especially that which leads to the senseless loss of life, reigns supreme. We are even more certain that we will not allow any corner of our country to fall into a state of normalized lawlessness. Opening fire on a mother and child exiting their vehicle, or the elderly men riding on bicycles, is not normal. Blazing bullets in the dead of night at a police station is not normal. And most certainly, shooting a barrage of bullets into the home of a senior public servant, the Commissioner of Police, no less, is not the Belizean way. These wayward activities will not be countenanced will not be tolerated and will not be condoned. Madam Speaker,
While the confinement of Belizean citizens is not ideal, PM Briceño says the extension of the SOE is the best decision for the country at this time, since there are a few who remain hell-bent on enacting violence despite the opportunities provided by government.
And our government, we as a government, we've been saying it over and over, that we will not allow a small group of people to terrorize our law-abiding citizens. We have been doing everything possible to assist everyone. We've been working on growing the economy. That presently, Madam Speaker, there is an unemployment rate of 3%, never seen in the history of Belize. I make that point because if these young men want to work, there is work for them. We have been doing working with small businesses, with MSMEs, creating opportunities. Again, not even them, that many of them will say, oh, only the big guys have access. We have changed that. So if they want to get a taxi, they could come in and register themselves as an MSME, get a taxi to run, or whatever it is. What is important is that we have to ensure that we protect the little ones. Because whenever I speak to my colleagues, especially those that in the south side where we have the most pronounced areas of gang activities, they are telling us we have to ensure that these little kids stay in school. So, to make sure that they could go to high school. The Minister of Education and his team have been working diligently to ensure that we can save these kids and ensure they go to school. We're even giving them their tuition, their fees, even uniforms when it is necessary. This small group of people, they're pushing this country. They're pushing us. They're pushing the citizenry in the Belizeans all over. Everybody has seen what has happened in El Salvador. That's not the route we want to go. That's not the route we want to go. We want to create opportunities for them. But citizens are clamoring that this government, that we have to take action.
PM Briceño also took the time to commend the Ministry of Home Affairs for its commitment to curbing crime in our country.
I must commend Minister Musa, or the honorable member from Caribbean Shores, that without much fanfare, he has quietly been rebuilding the police department, ensuring that we could get the right people in the right place. This is the minister that has dismissed the most police on record in history. Because whenever he pointed out to us, whenever they see there is a cop that is not doing their work the way they do, they dismiss them. And he has been ensuring that we can use technology to be able to better protect our citizens, from cameras and now to the DNA testing. All of this will allow us to be able to make our citizens safer. In Plan Belize, we said that citizen security is going to be a priority. That was not just words, it's something that we mean, and we're showing the action on that, Madam Speaker.
The state of emergency, which includes various areas in both the south and north of Belize City, as well as 2 communities in the west, came into effect on June 24th and has detained over 90 individuals thus far. Opposition leader Shine Barrow today also spoke on the extension of the current state of emergency, while he admits that SOEs are needed tools to arrest crime. He also called on GOB to strengthen its efforts in a more holistic way to ensure that crime is eradicated significantly.
Yes, this is a tool that must be used, but you cannot use this tool without the comprehensive framework to arrest crime. You cannot use this tool without strengthening the DPP's office, without strengthening, adding boots, giving more jobs as far as police officers is not enough. You need to strengthen the capacity of the police officers. You need to lift the morale of the police officers.
Another bill that made it to the House today is the Fiscal Incentives Amendment Bill 2024. The bill seeks to provide exemption on import duty for foreign managers and foreign skilled workers employed by a person with investment of $250 million and above.
Our government's objective is to increase FDI, or foreign direct investment, even higher in 2024. In this context, we're amending the Fiscal Incentives Act to facilitate incentives to investments of $250 million or above. Now, if you were to allow me, Madam Speaker, there are a number of reasons why we're doing this. The first one is the whole issue where the UDP tried to create a sort of misunderstanding, or trying to be able to accuse our government with the Portico investment, or the Portico group, about some sort of corruption taking place, with a definitive agreement. And a definitive agreement that they well know that they were the ones that wrote that definitive agreement. So they want to turn around and say as if our government, did something wrong when we did nothing. Now, from time to time, we have these huge investments in this country, and because of the size of the investment, we tend to give them other incentives that we do not usually give to the lesser in size investments. To avoid all of this, to ensure that everything can be done above board, to avoid these definitive agreements, to avoid passing laws for special investments, our government decided for us to set a minimum amount of the investment that's needed to be able to get other in the incentives and the rest of the regular investments that they do in Belize. And so we felt that by setting up the bar at over $250 million, which is $500 million Belize, we believe that by making these amendments, then that it will be easier to be able to attract investments or investors, and that the investors do not have to worry that then the opposition will be using that as a football just for their political gain. This will ensure transparency. The new incentives that will be included for investments of over $500 million Belize dollars, or $250 million is one, well, the customs duty exemptions, and then GST exemption for goods and services for the project, construction, and establishment. Because once the construction is finished and the business starts to operate, then they will be removed from that exemption. Thirdly, because of the size of the investment, in many instances, they need to bring certain skilled workers. So all foreign skilled workers or managers of the investment are to be granted 6 months duty exemption for their personal items such as furniture and equipment when they first relocate to Belize.
Coming up next, Belizeans mourn the death of the iconic Jenny Loville, and the Disability Bill 2024 goes through all its readings. Stay tuned.
The Orange Walk Clinical Lab Summer Promotion 2024 is here. Get your summer promotion on glucose, cholesterol, triglyceride, and hemoglobin for only $20. Also, fantastic promotions on prostate PSA for only $50. We also have other packages on promotion. We also provide DNA paternity testing. We take this opportunity to inform the general public in the Orange Walk District that we are an approved NHI lab service provider. So for all your NHI lab tests, just visit your NHI medical provider and visit us at the Orange Walk Clinical Laboratory. We take care of all your NHI lab tests. Results are provided the same day. Come visit us on number 20 San Antonio Road, Orange Walk Town. Call for details at 322-0423 or 600-2727. Call 630-1479. Remember, don't wait for symptoms. Check your health today. The Orange Walk Clinical Laboratory.
Today, the House of Representatives had special guests sitting at the gallery, persons from the sign language community and persons with diverse abilities. Their presence was to personally witness an important milestone in the history of Belize as the Disability Bill 2024 will go through its readings. The bill is condensed in 33 pages and is the long-awaited legislation that will provide equal enjoyment of rights to persons with disabilities as is detailed in the Constitution of Belize.
And to one and all, Madam Speaker, I rise to move the second reading of the Disabilities Bill, a bill for an act to promote, protect, and ensure the full and equal enjoyment of privileges, interests, rights, benefits, and treatment by persons with disabilities on an equal basis with persons without disabilities, to establish the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, to establish the Disabilities and Equal Opportunities Tribunal, and to provide for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. Madam Speaker, I also take this opportunity, and I wish to thank everyone for their patience this morning and into this afternoon. I want to make a special mention of our special envoy for the development of families and children, Mrs. Rosanna Briceño, Her Excellency, who is with us this afternoon. Today, it will establish the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, and it will have, in addition to government representation, it will have representatives from the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the Social Security Board, the National Trade Union Congress, civil society organizations, and also the ex officio member of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, and our CEO of Human Development will chair the commission. We also want to mention at this second reading, Madam Speaker, that the functions of the commission will be various. And please allow me once more to read it into the record. It will oversee the implementation of the policy to give special attention to persons with disabilities. It will make recommendations to the government. It will coordinate and monitor the implementation of the said policy. It will monitor our compliance with the United Nations Convention and do monitoring and evaluation on the impact of our policy. It will recommend changes to existing laws, support the development of relevant programs, collect and record important data, promote and foster capacity development, promote and coordinate the employment of persons living with disabilities, produce annual reports, address grievances, and maintain, importantly, maintain a register of persons living with disabilities. There will be a registrar. There will also be the provision of appeals to the commission by a person who may be aggrieved. There will be the attention to protection from discrimination. And there will also be attention to protection from exploitation, violence, and abuse. We intend, Madam Speaker, through this multi-sectoral approach to provide lifelong protection and social support for persons living with disabilities.
Education and training will become one of the many columns of the bill in order to afford equal rights to every Belizean without any discrimination.
Madam Speaker, that there will be access through this multi-sectoral approach to education and training, and the focus again on the right to education and training for all persons living with disability. Access of examination for persons with disability, and the ministry will make the necessary adjustments in terms of employment, health care, and also very importantly, accessibility. And it reads thus, Section 34, access to public buildings, public transport, and premises. Persons with disabilities shall have reasonable access, both indoor or outdoor, where any public service or transportation service is offered. Existing public premises shall be altered to facilitate accessibility within 12 months of the commencement of this law, and persons with disabilities are not to be charged any higher sum to access public transportation. Failure to comply will be made an offense. Now, Madam Speaker.
The United Nations Conventions on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities will be the guiding principles as set out in this document in the making of any decision affecting persons with disabilities. The family of 28-year-old Pedro Armando Garcia is today mourning his untimely passing. Garcia is a resident of Caledonia, Corozal. However, 7 years ago, he went north in search of the American dream. Though Garcia had been working legally in the USA when he died after being involved in an accident, his medical and insurance coverage has been difficult to obtain. Garcia was working on the roof of a 2-story building in Missouri, USA, when something went awfully wrong and he fell to the ground. His cousin spoke to us today about the incident.
Bueno, pues él tuvo un accidente en su trabajo. Estaba trabajando en roofing top y como hay mucho calor ahí, creo que se puso, lo que entendí, que se como dehydrate, como si se desmayó y por eso se cayó. Se cayó de 2 pisos, pero él estaba en Branson, Missouri. Y pues no es como aquí es 2 pisos, pero para ellos son como 4 pisos, dicen. Eso pasó el lunes en la tarde. Supuestamente el lunes en la tarde pasó, pero ya a la familia se les avisó hasta el otro día. Y no la compañía. Les avisó un conocido. Fueron al hospital, los doctores le dicen a la familia lo que el jefe les contó. Ya el jefe a ellos les cuenta otra versión. Que no sabemos qué realmente sucedió, cómo sucedió, pero la cosa que tuvo el accidente y lamentablemente el 26 nos dieron la noticia de que ya dejó de respirar. Dejó de respirar.
While living in the U.S., Garcia assisted his family in numerous ways.
Pero como fue un buen muchacho y pues ahorita lo estamos viendo como un héroe porque decidió donar sus órganos. Sí.
With Garcia's death, his family is saddled with a huge bill they can't afford to clear, and they are now seeking the public's assistance in order to transfer his body from the USA to Belize in order to have a proper burial.
Ajá, sí. Para mañana vamos a estar vendiendo barbecue a $8 el plato. Aquí en Caledonia. Y se va a estar haciendo delivery como Buena Vista, Santa Clara, San Román, Corozal District. Sí. Y sí necesitamos bastante ayuda porque no es fácil y no es poquito lo que se necesita para traerlo a casa, ¿no?
¿Cómo cuánto se necesita?
Pues me dijeron que necesitamos como 45,000, pero no me dijeron si es Belize o US.
¿Y él tenía esposa, hijos?
No, solo él.
¿Desde cuándo se fue para Estados Unidos?
Ya 7 años. 7 años y pues queremos que venga, ¿no? Queremos que venga a casa.
¿Él fue para poder ayudar a su familia aquí en Caledonia?
Sí. Pues mi mensaje mío para los que están viendo este video, que abran sus corazones y los ayuden, ¿no? Para traer a mi primo a casa, porque se necesita bastante dinero. Se necesita bastante dinero y sí queremos pues traerlo lo más rápido posible.
If you would like to assist the family bring Pedro Garcia home for burial, you can reach them at telephone number 678-7396 or make a direct deposit to Carla Rodriguez, Atlantic Bank account number 212-002-0690. At Parliament today, the Inter-American Development Bank Improving Efficiency, Quality, and Access in Belize Health System U.S. $14 million loan motion was also introduced. This particular loan motion seeks to bring huge benefits to Norteños with the rehabilitation of the Northern Regional Hospital and other community hospitals. The program consists of 2 components. 1, to improve the efficiency and quality of health care services throughout the country by enhancing access to outpatients, inpatients, and long-term care.
The total value, we need to look at, of this project is $34.72 million Belize dollars. Madam Speaker, you include 2 loans of 7 and 7 million US, which is $28 million Belize. But we also have some grant financing, as we said, free money, to the amount of $6.72 million, Madam Speaker, which would then give us a total of the $34.72 million. The overall objective is to improve the health of Belizeans and residents through increased efficiency and quality of health care and better access to key health services. Now, some of the primary components of this project loan, they include 1, developing a quality and efficient improvement strategy with a focus on non-communicable diseases, reproductive, maternal, neonatal, and child health, accident and emergency services, and surgeries. 2, implementing a patient satisfaction assessment mechanism to contribute to improving care quality. 3, financing scholarships to train additional doctors and nurses. 4, training health workers, managers, and senior managers in the Ministry of Health and Wellness. 5, improving the Belizean Health Information System by adding new functionalities with improved data quality. 6, revising and updating the healthcare delivery model. 7, strengthening the community health workers' performance in rural areas through training and providing equipment. 8, piloting a comprehensive mobile clinic for primary healthcare services in rural areas. 9, piloting a telehealth program for patients with mental health conditions. And 10, financing infrastructure improvements and equipping the 4 health facilities, namely the Northern Regional Hospital, the Southern Regional Hospital, Matron Roberts Polyclinic, and Palm Center.
The project is to be implemented by the Ministry of Health and Wellness over a period of 5 years.
The Prime Minister, in his presentation, pointed out some of the components that this loan will have. And one of them is the digital health, Madam Speaker. As you know, the cornerstone of our government's initiative under the leadership of our Prime Minister is the digital transformation of this country. And digital health is one of that initiative for the ministry. The future of healthcare, Madam Speaker, lies in the integration of digital technologies. And under this component, we aim to strengthen the Belize health information system, to develop a more comprehensive framework for telemedicine, starting with the pilot program focused on mental health services. This will enable us, Madam Speaker, to provide essential mental health support to those in remote and underserved areas, breaking down the geographical barriers that have long hindered to access. In addition, Madam Speaker, we will fortify the digital infrastructure in the northern region, the southern region, and the Palm View Center. And by doing this, we will ensure that our healthcare facilities are equipped with advanced technology capable of delivering high-quality care efficiently and effectively.
And there is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
This plan, I can't left this plan. Smart Belize.
Hey there, smart thinkers. We're turbocharging your mobile experience with Smart's powered up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speeds flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a lone ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced, full, high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered-up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
I know I can't left this plan. I can't left this plan.
Imports for the first 5 months, January to May of 2024, according to the Statistical Institute of Belize, amounted to $1.236 billion, an increase of 14%, or $151.3 million, from $1.084 billion in the first 5 months of 2023. Looking only at the month of May, the country's total imports were valued at $251.2 million. This represented a 4.6% or $10.9 million increase from May 2023, when imports were valued at $240.3 million. While most commodities showed relatively small changes during the month, notable increases were observed in mineral fuels and lubricants, machinery and transport equipment, and crude materials. Additionally, considerable decreases were observed in the categories of commercial-free zones and other manufacturers.
The total domestic imports for the first 5 months of the year amounted to $1.2 billion, up 14% or $151.3 million when compared to imports of the first 5 months in 2023. Let's look at the categories that contributed to this overall increase in merchandise imports. It can be observed that machinery and transport equipment went up from $228.7 million to $327.9 million, a 99.1 million rise, which was due to the importation of several high-value items and vehicles, followed by mineral fuels and lubricants, where higher quantities of diesel, kerosene, and premium, along with bunker C fuels and LPG fuels being imported into the country. This resulted in a 31.3 million increase in the category, from $159.9 million to $191.2 million. It can be seen on the slide that all the other categories did not record a marginal difference for the period, with designated processing areas decreasing by just $5 million for the period, as the country bought fewer steel drums and shrimp feed.
Turning over to merchandise exports for the period January to May 2024, it's totaled $165.6 million, an increase of 7.2% or $11.1 million from $154.5 million for the same period in 2023. Strong performances were recorded among some of the country's major exports as well as some of its other non-traditional commodities.
Total domestic exports for the first 5 months of the year amounted to $165.6 million, up 7.2% or 11.1% when compared to exports of the first 5 months of 2023. As seen on the slide, we can see that bananas and sugar were the main contributors to this overall increase, with earnings from bananas almost doubling from $18.8 million to $36.1 million. Revenues from sugar increased by $10.6 million from $44.1 million to $54.7 million. Conversely, we can see animal feed fell by more than 2/3 for the period, from $23 million to $7.2 million. Likewise, the country experienced decreased exports across all main marine products, resulting in a $5.4 million drop from $16.7 million to $11.3 million.
Across the major destinations, revenues from the United Kingdom rose significantly in May 2024, going up by $12.3 million from $5.6 million to $17.9 million, mainly due to a rise in sales of sugar and bananas to this nation.
We observed that due to increased exports of sugar and bananas, earnings from the United Kingdom went up by $39.7 million, from $21.9 million to $61.6 million. Purchases of molasses by the United States of America recorded a rise for the period, experiencing an incline of $3.7 million from $22.4 million to $26.1 million.
This is in mourning following the passing of one of its most iconic figures, Jennifer Loville, affectionately known as Jenny. Jennifer Loville passed away in her home in Belmopan, leaving behind a legacy of dedication, compassion, and service that has touched countless lives across the country. Loville, who was in her early 70s, was well known for her positive personality. She was usually seen on Channel 5's Ctv3 Remix as a judge. Her lovable character and her popular catchphrase, "I love it," became a Belizean favorite. Today, Prime Minister John Bresenio bid her farewell during the House sitting.
Apart from that, this morning, the nation, we woke up to the sad news that we lost Jenny Loville, the incomparable Jenny Loville, who we all have seen on Channel 5 KTV. I think just earlier this week, she was also on live TV. That voice, we remember Marching Blues, when she's one of the most, probably the best album Belize has ever produced, with Funky Renault. All of them were just little kids when you took out Marching Blues. And I wish that more and more Belizeans should be aware of that music. She was a national treasure, and I join others, our colleagues on this side of the House, and the entire country extending heartfelt condolences to her family and her friends, and everybody who loved Jenny, especially since, again, as I said, because of her appearances on Channel 5. She loved singing, and she loved Belize, and for this we are a grateful nation, and we thank her family for sharing journey with us. And may her soul and may her soul and the soul of all the departed rest in peace. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Jennifer Loville was a revered mental health professional who dedicated her life to the betterment of her community. With an extensive career that spanned work with both the government of Belize and non-governmental organizations, Loville's contribution to psychological services and organizational development were profound and far-reaching. Her expertise in mental health and her tireless advocacy made her a pillar of support for many in need. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Monday, July 1st, here on Ctv3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at Ctv3 News BZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at Ctv3 News, have a safe and pleasant weekend. Thank you for watching and listening. Good night.